I'm Cathy, the Clumsy Soaper. Welcome back, soap lovers, and if you are new here, please consider subscribing and hit the bell notification icon for a weekly soap making video, DIY tutorials, or recipe sharing from me. Soap making is my passion, so I would really appreciate if you can join me in my soap making journey so we can learn and grow together. Alright, soap lovers, let's get started! In this video, there are 3 important things that I aim to share. Number 1, on how can we save some money in making our own improvised soap molds using an empty milk carton. Number 2, I'll give you some of the tips and tricks that I follow in making milk soaps. And number 3, I'll share with you on how can we save some money by using a comb as a tool in designing our soaps. The video that we have today is slightly longer than the usual length of the video that I normally share in this channel because there are 2 parts. Part 1 will be the making of the improvised soap mold, and then for number 2, we will focus more on milk soap making. Now we have an empty milk carton. What I did was to ensure that there's no leftover milk inside and then fill it up with around 250 ml of water. Shake it a bit and then discard the water away, and then just wash it a few more times until the water that comes out is already clear, and then keep it upside down to dry the milk carton. Okay, that is what I did prior to this step. So now, using a cutter, let's cut open one side of the milk carton. There is no specific orientation that you can do this, but for me, I recommend to keep the opening of the carton on the upper end to avoid any leakage. Once the container is open, you can just wipe it dry with a paper towel. And then now, using a scotch tape, I just reinforce the sides of the milk carton. Because remember, we've already taken out one side of that, and I'm afraid that if we already fill it up with our soap butter, it will bulge on the side. And to ensure that we don't have that bulging, I am reinforcing the side with the scotch tape. You can do this maybe 2 or 3 times. And then just properly secure the tip so it looks neat and nice. Next, just like what we did last week, we will line our milk carton with an overhead projector transparency film, just like what we did in our Pringles can. So now I'm just eyeballing to fold the sides of the transparency film to follow the edges of the milk carton. We don't need any measurements here. Okay, now if you'll see that I folded it just the same size with the milk carton outside. So because the inner side of the milk carton is slightly smaller, we need to fold it a little bit shorter than the outer edge. You'll see me do that later, so I did some adjustments. Okay. Using a scissor, we need to cut a diagonal slit in the four corners of the transparency film, just like what I'm doing now, so that it's much easier for us to fold our liner and also easier for us to slot it inside the milk carton. Then you can do some slight adjustments just to make sure that the transparency film would fit nicely into our milk carton. Next, using a scotch tape again, we can secure the acetate film or transparency film into the milk carton. We need to do this in the four corners just to make sure that it doesn't bulge or leak when we pour our soap butter. So this is our simple way to save some money in our soap mold by improvising a milk carton. And then for the time that we consume, it took me less than 10 minutes to make this improvised loaf mold. So if you want a round shaped soap, you can improvise the Pringles canister for that. And if you want a loaf mold or a slab mold, you can use a milk carton. This is a 1 liter milk carton, so we can produce 10 to 12 bars of soaps at full capacity. So today we saved 20 to 30 US dollars for the price of a loaf mold. And we can reuse this as many times as we want. We just need to change the transparency liner. But remember that in time it will start to soften, and when that happens, you just throw away your milk carton and make a new one. It's that easy. Now we can start with making our full cream milk soap. In this project, I have 3 colorants, and what I did is to premix all the 3 colorants with the oils and place it into this condiments container. My milk soap process is entirely different compared to others, wherein they would normally dissolve the milk into the lye solution. But for me, what I would normally do is to pour the lye solution into the oil. Then I have here the frozen full cream milk and place it into the oil and lye solution mixture, and then I just need to swirl it gently, just mix it in, because remember, when we pour the lye solution into the oil, there will be a chemical reaction. Saponification will start, and saponification will generate heat. And since it is exothermic in nature, it will quickly help to melt the frozen milk. Just remember that when you make milk soaps, always ensure that your temperature goes below 40 degrees Celsius. I would normally just target a maximum of 35 degrees Celsius to be always on the safer side and to avoid scorching of the milk. Now, the soap butter is almost ready. We are at light trace. The temperature is 21.1 degrees Celsius, so we can pour this into our colorants. Temperature is a critical factor in making milk soap, so we really have to control it properly. And another thing that we have to consider is also the amount of mixing. I know that most of you are using immersion blender. That's fine, but try to avoid over mixing, because that will also trigger an increase in the temperature. So here, I've already placed a portion of the butter in the 3 colorants. Let me just pour some of that butter into this single cavity soap mold so we can see the color of the soap as is. And now we can start designing our soap. I am not a fan of repetitive work, but for the design that I'd like to do today, I will need 3 parallel black colors using a squeeze bottle. So what I did was to look for a squeeze bottle that has a 3 head point, and that's what I'm using right now. And because the opening are small, I just cut a portion of that 3-point head to make the openings bigger. And see, one squeeze I can put 3 lines at one go. It's much faster and it's easier. And the spacing will definitely be the same, no matter what I do. This is another simple trick that we can do to save some time and effort. If in case we need to use a squeeze bottle, and this is available in your local shop. What happened here? I think there's a clog in the middle of the squeeze bottle, so I just need to take that one out. And that's okay again. Then we can move to the next color. I have white here, and then later I'll squeeze in the color red. While we are doing this, let me just give you a little chit chat. I am so happy about your response last week for the mini giveaway that I have here in my channel. So if you haven't watched that video and you want to join the mini giveaway, and that will be a raffle for an impression mat, you still can join. Watch that video and then count the number of Clumsy meters there and give me a comment. The giveaway is due until midnight today. Then next week, I'll give the confirmation on how many Clumsy meters are there. Some of you counted 6 and some of you counted 7. Next week, I'll give the confirmation. I didn't give any confirmation in my replies to all of your comments because I would like the rest to join the fun and do the counting as well. And on the video that is coming next week, I'll also announce who is our lucky winner. And then, I'll directly contact you, send you a direct message via YouTube messaging. So you have to check your messages that will be under the community section in your Creator Studio dashboard. Going back here, now it's time to squeeze in red, my favorite color. Yay! I'm so happy with the red color. So I just made a line in between the black and white lines. That's the original plan. I would have stopped here, but then I realized that I want to add more reds into this. So I just squeeze in some more until I'm fully satisfied to see all the reds there. Oh, another one. Just to layer and thicken the lines some more. And we're done with the colorants. Now let's check on the temperature. It's 29.5 degrees Celsius. And here is a simple comb. I call this technique Clumsy comb swirl. My soap sister Elizabeth helped me to name this. Hello Elizabeth! Thank you for the name! You can use this comb to make a peacock swirl, but today I won't be doing a peacock swirl. As you can see, when I move the comb from up to down, it almost forms the same design that you would do in a peacock swirl. And then it's just that for the next step, you need to use a skewer to make the S lines or to make the curved lines. But for me, aside I will be doing a double combing. So I just need to rotate the container or the soap mold and then do the S curve in whatever direction that I'd like to. That's why we call this the Clumsy comb swirl, because you can do whatever direction that you'd like to swirl your comb. This is a much cheaper option instead of using or buying a peacock swirl tool. So today we save more than $40. I noticed that for some soap makers, what they did is to do an alternative using a cardboard and skewers. But the problem is that, based on my observations, is that sometimes the skewers just fall off, and sometimes the spacing between the skewers are uneven, and it's also time consuming. So if it takes you to improvise something that will use up more than 30 minutes of your time, it's not worth it. Remember, time is also money, and this comb is just 60 cents. It will produce the same design, the spaces are even, and it's way cheaper, and you don't need to exert so much effort. But it's all up to you. This is just my suggestion and my alternative way to do things. Now we can unmold our soap. The milk carton is still intact, so we still can reuse this next time. We just need to change to a new liner. I also have to mention that this milk soap is just kept at room temperature. I didn't keep it in the freezer Normally, others would suggest to keep it in the freezer for 24 to 48 hours just to make sure that it doesn't overheat or it doesn't scorch. But for my case, as I've already mentioned to you, as long as you keep the temperature below 40 degrees Celsius, you wouldn't have a problem on overheating or scorching of the milk soap. And you can see that in the soap that I am unmolding right now. And look at the color at the bottom of the soap. That is the original color. And there's no scorching. Color of the soap is still creamy and it didn't turn orange, yellow, or brownish. Now let's unmold the soap that I left in the single cavity rose mold. Careful, careful! Yay! I like the color of this one. It's very light. And this is the original color. We didn't add any colors to that. Next, we can cut this baby into soap bars. I like how the Clumsy comb swirls came out. But I'm not so sure on whether it looks like a dragon scale, a snake scale, or some waves. So maybe you can help me on that. Leave a comment down below and let me know about your thoughts on this Clumsy comb swirl that I shared today. And I also hope that I shared something of value to you in giving you some tips and tricks on how I make the milk soap. And also in the same time, I hope that I've also shared some ways for you to save some money in improvising your own soap mold and improvising your tools in making soaps. If you like this video, give it a big fat thumbs up. And remember to subscribe if you haven't subscribed yet. I post a weekly video here in my channel. And feel free to give me any comments, feedbacks, or suggestions, or even violent reactions. I'm open to that. I'm very much willing to listen on what you have to say because only then can I improve. And before I end this video, I'd just like to remind you that you still have until midnight tonight to join the giveaway for the silicone lace mat that you can use for making impression mat soaps. That is a mini giveaway, and that is my way to thank you all for the love and the support. Thank you so much!
Thank you for joining me today. If you enjoyed what I shared, please leave a like and a comment below. Remember to subscribe and hit the bell icon to keep you posted on my latest uploads. Until next time, bye-bye and happy birthday to those who will be celebrating their birthdays this month. God bless!